What's up, everybody? This is Sarad again for my second episode on this YouTube channel. I'm so excited today. I have a special guest with me today, one Yolanda Rush from YRUSH Tech Group. And she's going to be sharing with us today from the things that she's doing and the things that they are doing at YRUSH Tech Group. And I just want to, just start out by giving Yolanda an opportunity to just talk a little bit about YRUSH Tech Group and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Hi, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Yolanda Rush. I am the co-founder of YRUSH Technology Group. We are a branding and marketing business. Our primary focus is on websites and SEO, which is search engine optimization. And in addition to the branding and marketing piece, we also offer a virtual assistant arm to the business. We've been around for about 3 years, and we're fairly new. We're out there, we're grinding, we're open for business.
So I want everybody out there to know that, I can vouch for YRUSH Tech Group because I actually use their services also. So from a marketing perspective, from a digital strategy perspective, YRUSH Tech Group and Yolanda in particular has been helpful to me, especially when we're working on larger projects where we're trying to expand like what we're doing from a marketing base. We had a documentary recently that I was helping and supporting, and she was able to help us with some of the marketing pieces. She's actually even done some marketing pieces for my own company, DSID, which is Davenport Strategic Innovation and Design. So she's done some stuff for us actually. So really excited to have her on today and just to talk because I can vouch for the work that they do and their commitment to excellence. So thank you for being on today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
So, how has, YRUSH Tech Group, how have you all repositioned yourself since the pandemic has happened? How have you, what strategy are you using to, make sure your business is viable and relevant even in this time?
For us, primarily, for most of 2019 and the first quarter of 2020, we were primarily doing websites. We were booming and rocking on the website side. People were actually spending money on their branding, on their marketing, especially new businesses. We had companies that were coming in for rebranding, and that's where our primary focus was up until about 2 weeks ago. Things started slowing down, and I knew at that point that I needed to rethink my position going forward. And so primarily, I also work a 9 to 5, and I do tech support on my 9 to 5. And I knew that there were a lot of people just going through and having a time setting up home offices because COVID-19 pushed us all home or pushed us all into cyberspace. So I said, okay, so I'm working with a bunch of people. They're having a hard time positioning themselves at home, getting their home office space set up and just acclimating. Well, what really did it for me was my family started calling me because they were starting to be affected just like the rest of us by way of COVID, and they needed help just doing some of the online business that was required for them to sustain. They were calling me to do things like to help out with unemployment, to help out with health insurance forms, to help out with maybe prescription deliveries, stuff like that. And most of it required you to go online to even get any sort of back and forth communication. So that presented a problem. And I knew at that point that we were not the only ones that were experiencing that type of thing. I knew there were other families that were going through that. So I said, you know what, here's what we need to do. We, as in YRUSH Technology Group, we need to put our focus primarily on families and just the common man and woman and help them sustain their necessities. And we came up just with a list of services that we are offering to the public, and those services is, again, all those things are online. It's required that you go online to do your unemployment insurance. I mean, there is an option to like call on the phone, but people are saying like, I can't get anyone on the phone. So this is like null and void. What do I do? Prescription delivery, that requires you to have access to the internet. TANF, the businesses are closed. There is no brick and mortar that you can actually walk into. So with that being said, we just started focusing on helping people with their basic primary needs. And we have set up a service that is at a very minimal cost. We will spend time with you on the phone. Most of the services that everyone have called in for, it's a minimum of 20, 30 minutes that they need us on the phone. We are asking for a minimum price of $19.99. That will get you signed up, that will get you in the system, and that will get you rocking and rolling with the things that you need. Again, like unemployment and health insurance forms and TANF and prescription deliveries. So that's where we have shifted our focus, just to help people out at this point. And we also are offering that service to our Spanish-speaking community as well. The doors are open for them, and we want to help them out as well. And that's where we are, and that's how we pivoted. And from this point on, we've already gotten clients are hitting me back saying, oh, I got my first unemployment check. Thank you very much for that. Oh, I got my prescriptions delivered today. Oh, I got a letter back from this company saying that I'm now in their database, or whatever the case may be. So that's where we are, and that's how we made our shift, and that's what we're going to do going forward. We just want to help people out until we get over this hump, and then at that point, we will focus our energies back on the branding and marketing side of things.
So like something that started out as like really just supporting your family and making sure your family was straight has transformed into something that can help the larger community. And I think that, that's what we have to really do, is to really think about, be creative and think about the gifts that you already have and that you might even provide in your own family, your own context. And then you can begin to share that ability and that capacity with the broader public to support your enterprise.
Most of the people that I talk with are basically in panic mode. Responsible people that have families, that have bills. I find that they're pretty much in panic mode, which is understandable. And the bottom line is we're all in this together. Mm-hmm. However, my point of view is that this is not all bad. This is not all a negative experience. And I've found some positives that have came out of this. And that's my question for you. Have you run across any positives for your small business now that the pandemic has struck?
Definitely. I mean, there have been some ways to kind of reposition, as the question I asked you about earlier, and to think about content, right? And leveraging content. The folks that, that I work with have content, be it media. For example, I mentioned before that, we've been working on this documentary, and the executive producer, we work together to get that content available on demand online, because it's, we can't show it for the public because people can't come together, but we can make it available to the public on demand online at a reasonable cost, right? There's another, content associated project that I'm working on. I had a phone call today with a news publication that wants to do some content delivery, and we're pulling together some artists and some writers and to do some creative ways of covering the pandemic with kind of like a lens around marginalized communities. So we're doing, content, and then I see, like, I'm looking online and I see all of these folks that are, positioning musicians and artists who are, repackaging their content so that it can be available during this time people don't have anywhere to go, right?
Right.
So, they're gonna purchase their Netflix. They're gonna get their Hulu. They're gonna, get these on-demand things. Why don't you put yourself in that marketplace? So, helping people to get into that marketplace is some of the things that have kept me busy over the last month or so, and even rethinking my own, kind of communication. Just this YouTube channel. Like I did a video a week ago, saw some response, and here we are again, the next week with you, coming on to really leverage content and get a message out there, but also with the intent of, building business and broadening reach and get more people on board and involved in what we're trying to do. So yeah.
I think it's awesome. And just to go back to what you mentioned, that we worked on a project together. Mm-hmm. What was that, last winter or something like that?
It was in the fall.
Okay, last fall. I mean, I think it's so amazing. I was so excited. First of all, I was excited that you called on me to work on the project because I just respect your level of professionalism, your level of detail. And I was like, okay, so if Sarad is calling on me, that means he really trusts my work. So check for that. And then the other thing is, I just think the documentary is so lit. I love the idea. I love the concept. There's a huge market for that. We really, really need that. There's a huge space for that. And so now that we're home, no one has anywhere to go. This is a good time to watch the documentary. So I do want to catch that. Where can I find that?
So you can find it on Vimeo. So if you go to vimeo.com and you look up, you just click in the search box and click A Legacy Unbroken, the story of Black Charlottesville. It'll come right up. It'll give you, the on-demand options, and you can look at it there. So also people can go to the website, alegacyunbroken.com. So people can just, kind of see how things have been moving along through the process. And shout out to the executive producer, Tanisha Hudson. So she's been doing, she's kind of the visionary. I tell people I'm like the old Kanye, helping people get out their dreams. I'm not the new Kanye, I'm the old Kanye. So.
I love it. No, shout out to you guys for that. Shout out to Tanisha for coming up with the concept. I think it's all just amazing. So, and just going forward, another way that we've all had to reposition ourselves is, me personally, I feel like now I really have to do a lot more networking. It's not really my bag. It's not really my thing. And I've just been gliding through without really been, doing as much of that as I should have done. But now I'm like, look, you need to get your butt out there. You need to network. Right now you're networking virtually with people. Just get out there and connect because we're all in this together.
Yeah.
And we're stronger together than we are apart. So, I think it's awesome that you're doing these YouTube videos just for updates on COVID-19, and other small businesses will be able to look in and say, you know what, I'm not the only one that's going through this, because it's lonely.
Right.
And it's lonely when you're in this space and you don't know, and you don't really have a mentor to talk to or a huge network to call and bounce things off. And so there may be other people that think they're alone in this space, but it's all of us. We're all at a place where we're having to reposition, come up with something else, and get our shit in gear.
Yeah.
Otherwise, once it's time for the doors to open back up, you don't want to be stuck in the same space that you were a month and a half ago, 6 weeks ago, because at that point, you really need to rethink your whole setup.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to keep this tight. Really want to, thank you for coming on tonight, taking out of your time where you're doing your entrepreneurial thing to just, chat, talk, and, sip on something,
Exactly. But, cheers to you.
Yeah, cheers. But really wanted to, just say thank you and let the folks know about your business. Again, before we go, love to to give us, your website, your social media tags, so folks can know how to, keep in contact and, keep up with you on what you're doing.
Absolutely. So my website address is www.YRUSH, that's the letter Y, RUSH, YRUSHTechGroup.com. And all of my social media handles are at YRUSH Tech Group. And that's where you'll find me. And another caveat that I want to put out there, with what we're doing now, with YRUSH Tech Group, with trying to help the community, if you see this video and you find that you're in a position where you may need my assistance or you may need someone's assistance, don't let the fact that you can't come up with $19.99 prevent you from calling me. Even if you're in a position where you don't have that, look, I understand, because at this point, we're all in this together. So even if you're having some financial issues and stuff like that, still call me. Like, let's work it out. We can work together and get things done, because that's the primary goal. That's the primary focus. I'm just here to help. But in the interim, a girl's got to eat too.
Right. Well, thank you very much, Yolanda from YRUSH Tech Group. Really appreciate it. And hopefully we can get back on and continue to celebrate success in the future.